Hello again and welcome back to Cooking with Joe. Average cooking in an average flat by an average guy. I'd like to thank, everyone who supported me in this endeavour. I had a lot of fun doing this last time. And I've had a few people ask me about that banging looking cake I flashed yous. It's a salted caramel and chocolate buttercream cookie dough cake. And of course I've got a few things to say. Last time I spoke a little bit about, a load of gun-toting bozos over in America tearing shit up. But being a jackass is an international competition. It doesn't matter if you spend your weekend burning down phone masts, you believe in a cabal of lizard men, there's a conspiracy theory out there for your addled mind. It's cakes and conspiracies. Anything can happen in the next quarter hour or so. So, without further ado, let's crack on. Let's make this cake. What do we need? For the cake itself, we'll need butter, unsalted, but I don't know if you can really tell the difference in bacon. Eggs, cocoa powder, self-raising flour, golden caster sugar. There you can see that, put a peg there. Milk. The chocolate buttercream is a doddle, mind. Get some more butter, some dark chocolate, icing sugar, and that's it. The final part, the salted caramel cookie dough, even more butter, soft brown sugar, vanilla extract. This stuff is an absolute fucking nightmare to get a hold of, by the way, but we got it, so don't stress. Plain flour this time, full fat milk, a little bit of salt, a few chocolate chips. They didn't have any chocolate chips, so just fucking, I'm gonna smash more of that up later. Just some normal, regular sugar, granulated caster, it's all the same. Double cream, some more, you guessed it, butter. We're also gonna top it off with a couple of these bad boys. Crumbled up cookies. I thought I'd get some wine in. Help me relax. Should have got a glass out. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is pour some wine. Then what we're going to do is I diced this, but I say I diced. I mashed up this butter so that it would be easier to then do what we're about to do, which is cream together the butter and the golden sugar. You should really, if you've got like an electric whisk, that's the way to go, because this is a fucking pain in the ass otherwise. I'm sure that was fine. Right, so we also need 175 grams of the golden sugar. You see that? Oh, there we go. Oh Christ! Like I say, I don't have an electric whisk, and that's really the way to do this, because it will take like 2 minutes to cream. But if you're like me, I think actually a fork is the best way to do this. Contrary to what you're seeing, man alive, it's not a great start. But trust me, when this gets going, you're going to go, fucking hell, Joe. That's a good trick you just taught me. At the time of recording this, I don't know what's going to be happening with lockdown, about an easing of the measures. But I'm going to keep making these videos as long as I have the time. It's really starting to do what we want it to do. You want it to get this sort of like texture, look, kind of thing, I think. There we go. Look at that though. That's bloody lovely. And I'd say, yeah, 5 minutes that took us. So, if you've got wrists as powerful as mine, Anything's possible. What we're gonna do next? Get our first egg in the mix. We're just gonna switch it up to a spoon. You know, lockdown has brought the best out in a lot of people. Low key, my mum has been making scrubs bags for nurses because her neighbour is a junior nurse. So if you know any emergency workers, medical practitioners, you know, your mate who works down at the supermarket, the recycling people, whoever, say thank you with a delicious cake. Because who doesn't love cake? This isn't gluten friendly. Okay, so that's fine. We're going to set that aside now because we're going to be intertwining our flour, cocoa powder, and the salt to start introducing into the mixture. I don't have another glass bowl, so in a moment you're just going to have to imagine what's going on in there. It's pretty self-explanatory. Let's pop that in. Oh, I missed. Now we want 100 grams of this fucking gold dust. This is going to be a real messy one, I've decided this time, because you know it's time to be a bit more chilled out, I think. And it really is such an insignificant amount of salt, so I'm just gonna get a pinch. Once we've got that sort of intertwined with itself, you know, I don't see there, but we're going to start introducing it into our mixture. Think of it as a metaphor for, you know, the much needed integration of communities, the coming together of everyone for one common goal, delicious cake. You want to get a third of your dry mixture. That's the cocoa powder, the flour, the salt. Bring it into here, mix it all up. Then we're going to get another egg, crack it in alongside another third of this. Mix it all up, and then we're going to do that again, one more time. Doesn't have to be a science. You just bring it in like that, tap that off, and then start mixing that up. Your essential buddies are going to bloody love this cake. What is the policy actually? Is it safe to leave cake for your neighbours? Should I be encouraging that? Okay. I mean, there's a lot of different thoughts out there, but the general consensus seems to be that as long as you practice, you know, safe social distancing, proper hygiene, then this should be fine. You know, so just pop it on their porch, I guess. You do have to be careful with this kind of thing. There's a lot of misinformation spread out there these days. I'm sure I don't have to tell any of you about the claim that there's a link between the spread of the coronavirus and 5G. Now that's a real whirlwind. It started with a man named Chris van Kerkhoven, a doctor in Belgium, who in a newspaper claimed that 5G was life-threatening and that it may be a link to current events. In the same newspaper, he also said he hasn't done a fact check. Yet despite telling a brazen lie and openly admitting to it, a load of prominent figures have jumped on Chris's claims, amongst which is former footballer turned conspiracy theorist David Icke. He has amassed a very popular YouTube channel until that was taken down recently for this sort of nonsense. But before then, you know, he was peddling all sorts of shite. I think the specific claim is that 5G apparently prevents humans from being able to absorb oxygen. Yeah. From there, we leapfrog to Bill Gates, of all people, using the impending vaccine to inject RFID trackers into everyone. None of it is true, of course. But, you know, that doesn't detract from the real impact at play here. Which is, of course, you know, you've got people burning down phone masts. 75 since the start of April have been burnt down. But yeah, you've got some network workers, a great number of those, have been verbally or physically assaulted when they're just out trying to do their job. Someone got spat on and now potentially has the coronavirus. It's mental. Like, in one instance, a mob of about 15 people just harassed this woman and started shouting murderer at her. It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. Look at that though. That's not fucked. That's looking fucking dynamite, mate, is what that is. Oh, you can see this. Look, I get it, you know, it's so tangible to be angry at, but let's look at the fucking science here, shall we? 5G emits RF radiation. That's radio frequency radiation, right? That's described as non-ionizing radiation. So it doesn't fuck with your DNA, molecules, any of that. Harmless. That's a type of radiation that sits low on the electromagnetic spectrum. At around 2.5 to 39 gigahertz, it really pales in comparison to other types of radiation, like microwave, X-rays, or even visible light. Now, these types of radiation come from all facets of your life. Like this screen that you're watching me on, or something really terrifying, like rainbows. I mean, this sort of fear has been around since mobile phones were first introduced, you know? But man alive, get a fucking grip. Right, this is all mixed up, by the way. Now, you don't want it too stiff. If it is too stiff, dash of milk. But actually, we've got quite a creamy looking fellow here. He's a dirty boy, isn't he? Fuck it up. So that's going to be ready to go into our cake tins. Cool. So, I'm just going to pop that somewhere. So I found my cake tins. We got that. We got diameter, was it? Diameter of 20 centimeters for our recipe. Yeah, pop them like that. Get our handy little non-stick. Now, the last few times I've done bacon, I found that I've used way too much and you get this sort of oily base. I made a banana bread last night and I dropped it, but I think it would have held up a little better if I didn't use so much oil. That's still my fault though. Okay, so spoon this in. That's it. Gloop, gloop, gloop. Flop. Again, it's not a science. You know, you just need to just do it by eye. I mean, we're pretty much there. I'm going to lick that bowl. Now, if you use the rear end of a spoon, it's a little easier to just sort of spread it out. Like so. Look at that. But I mean, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm not going to risk it. It's too inconvenient for me right now to be able to move that. Should have moved the camera before I got started. Oh well. We live and we learn. And that's really what I aim to achieve here. It's nothing special. It's not, you know, I ain't kidding anyone. Certainly not myself. I'm not getting a Michelin star out of this. But I like to think that it's informative enough that if you would like to give it a go, it's easy enough to just sort of piece it together from this. I mean, I don't know. Could be more instructions. So that's all preheated. 170 degrees Celsius in a fan assisted oven. Gas Mark 5. It's going to take 20 to 25 minutes. I've done it before. I know it's going to take about 20, but oven dependent. Right, so tidied up, nice and neat. We're moving on to buttercream. Buttercream, honest to God, it's so easy. It's mad how easy it is. So like everyone knows how to melt chocolate, but if you haven't the foggiest, it's really simple. I'm just gonna grab this. Got a little tip for you. Do that. I don't know if it's a tip. I just wanted to check it's gonna fit. So you don't want it fucking going mental as well, so just a little simmer. Then we'll put our hot water in. Put the extractor fan on. The extractor fan might complicate things on the account of it making a noise. It's a bit loud, isn't it? We're gonna turn it off. Let's put that there. Just a little simmer. We'll keep that handy. We're also gonna grab this bowl here. Now, annoyingly, you're not gonna be able to see what's going on. So I'll talk you through it. We're gonna take our additional butter, and then we're gonna manually blend it with half of our icing sugar. I have a feeling though that this butter is going to be sufficiently gooey. Am I gonna have enough butter? So remember, that's 85 grams. Oh, if you could see 87 grams. Take my word for it. Bosh. So the icing sugar, 175 grams. Half of that, about 80. Oh, I should mention, obviously with chocky, when you're melting it, you really don't want it to burn. So make sure you give it a good old stir here and there. So half of our icing sugar, here it is. Pop it in there. Oh, I mean, look, doesn't that look lovely? It looks like winter. Whatever happened to good old innocent conspiracy theories though? Because like UFOs, aliens, love that shit. 1950s, oh, Roswell, give me some of that. The Pentagon released footage of UFOs the other week, and that wasn't interesting because of all the shit going on right now. I know they weren't saying aliens are real, but that, like, what's that? No, none of that. Man, speaking of David Icke earlier, that's a guy with a lot of weird conspiracy theories. Proclaimed himself Jesus Christ reborn on national television once. Believes the Matrix is real, the moon's a hologram. But my personal favourite, right, lizards. Lizard people living underground, controlling society, pulling the strings. Personal favourite. Whoa! Get on! They look great. You'll see them in a sec. I hate other mitts. I just want my dexterity back. Look at that. Does that look pleasant? So we're about ready to integrate our cooled chocolate and our remaining icing sugar. Now, I think we said 88 grams, so let's go for that. I'm thinking it might be easier to put in the glass bowl. That way you can see what's going on. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Ah, whoa, splat. You're probably thinking, Joe, that's twice now you've referenced lizard people. There couldn't possibly be anyone out there that actually believes in lizard people. Well, you'd be fucking wrong if you thought that. Now, Icke has a theory that interdimensional shape-shifting reptilians called Archons from the Alpha Draconis star system came to the Earth many hundreds of thousands of years ago and essentially hijacked it to start a load of Archon human hybrid breeding programs. The first, which may or may not have spawned Adam from Adam and Eve fame, was about 200,000 years ago, whereas the most recent, that was 7,000 years ago, and times with the biblical flood. Now, these hybrids operate out of underground bases as like the driving force behind a global conspiracy against humanity, stopping us from reaching our fullest potential. Think of them as like a subgenre of the Illuminati on our conspiracy theory spectrum. Most of the world's leaders, modern and ancient, have been or are related to one of these Archon human hybrids. The British royal family, every American president, the Rockefellers, like old European aristocratic families, even a few pharaohs, loads of modern celebrities, like everyone of prominence is most likely a reptile, according to Ike. But this is all in an effort to further what Ike calls their great work of ages. And that is for a microchip population under one singular global Orwellian fascist state government. It's designed in a way to instill as much fear and hatred as possible so that the Archons can then feed on the resulting negative energy. Oh, fucking Christ. Buttercream's done, by the way. That's looking nice. We're going to decant that into a smaller bowl because we're then going to pop that into the fridge. You want it to be thick, you know, who doesn't? But equally, you want to be able to spread it. People are burning down fucking phone masts. Like, well, I don't actually. I was going to say, I get it. I get why people sort of buy into it. It gives them... That's it. What do they get out of it? What do people get out of believing in it? Making caramel, by the way, is so much easier than those big wigs over at Nestle would have you believe. Really, all you need to do is melt or caramelize the sugar. 200 grams of sugar. Careful not to burn it, so you're going to constantly be stirring it. Like that, basically. Then what we're going to do is add about 90 grams of butter. And we'll just stir that in, let it just melt into the mix. Finally, we're very slowly going to drizzle in about half a cup of double cream. While stirring, always stirring. Since the cream is colder than the caramel, the mixture will rapidly bubble when it's added, so just be careful. And allow the mixture to boil for about a minute or so. Then you're going to remove it from the heat. We'll stir in a teaspoon of salt, or a pinch, whatever unit, and allow it to slightly cool down before using. So, finally, we've made the caramel. It's delicious. I dipped my finger in, washed it beforehand. But we're going to move on to the cookie though. So, what do we need for that? Well, we're going to, once again, you guessed it, cream together some fucking butter and some sugar. Boom ting. Pop that there. Have some wine. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, get on. That's going. Mr. Table. Groovy. It's time to add in our vanilla extract, our flour, and our salt. I'm just gonna take in 2 teaspoons of that. I did a little extra there, but who doesn't like vanilla? Just gonna pop it in. But you just want to give it this sort of like breadcrumb texture. It is mad, isn't it? The Ike stuff. I mean, the cookie, it is crazy how easy this cookie dough is, I guess. But the Ike stuff is the scary stuff. Cookie dough, innocent. Ike. I mean, what happens as well when someone who is incredibly toxic, but inexplicably super charismatic and has a way with a lot of people, gets into a position of extreme power and starts peddling similar sorts of nonsense.
Calling this the Chinese virus. There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no.
Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus. You know that, right? Coronavirus.
Just relax. We cut it off. People were amazed. These gentlemen, everybody was amazed that I did it. Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light. I've seen people that are going to die without it. And you know the expression, when that's happening, they should do it. what really do we have to lose? Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? I had a 2-week regimen of hydroxychloroquine, and I'm still here. I'm still here. And I tested very positively in another sense. So this morning, yeah, I tested positively toward negative, right? So, no, I tested perfectly this morning. No, I was asking a question sarcastically to reporters like you, just to see what would happen. We were very early. Oh, I'm the president.
But, you know, let's just add some caramel. That's caramel solves every problem, and it's at a really nice level. We're just gonna drizzle it in. I'm just gonna steamroll past that. There we go. I may have put too much in. As I'm swirling this around, I'm feeling I put too much in. So we're gonna just accept that. Now I know I said I was gonna break up some chocky. I didn't want to break up too much, and I'm having quite chunky bits. Okay, I'm lying. I didn't break it up. It's like midnight. I can't just be slamming shit around. I know. Trump's an easy guy to ridicule. He's a fucking fish in a barrel, right? But he really highlights why some conspiracies are so gosh darn dangerous. They do nothing but divide us. And right now, as the world is literally on fire and a plague rips through the international stadium, now's not the time for division. Now is the time for unity. And that's really what we've been here for today. Unity. We have built all these different sorts of things. We can unite those as if they were different members of a community into one really fucking banging composition. So nice and simple, what we're going to do, we're going to start by just getting one of the layers of cake, and we're just going to start lathering on the cookie dough. Bringing over our other cake. The buttercream's too hard. I put a lot on there, but that's okay. Then, we get our last layer of cookie dough. Scrape as much as you can up, because, you know, what's you going to do with it? Get another layer, this time of buttercream. Who would have guessed it? Finally, are our bits of cookie. We're just gonna break them onto there, and voila. Right now, things do seem bleak. These times will pass, and we have a hopeful future to look forward to. But we need to strive for that. We need a cleaner future. We need a kinder future, a more considerate future. And listening to that shite that we as a collective population have been doing is only going to seek to divide us further. We need unity. Unite the layers. Be kind to one another. Enjoy some cake. You know Epstein didn't kill himself, right?